Mama told me, boy, don't be nobody's fool. Daddy taught me how to break up all the rules. Where the hell was you when I was skipping school? Ain't it funny how you could learn a lesson from a fool? But things changed for the better or worse. My grandpa died, I ain't get to visit the church. Was only 7 when it happened, but my feelings was hurt. Guess that's part of the pain that manifest on the earth. Now time travel, cause ain't shit changed. Niggas are still slaves, getting minimum wage. Mentally insecure in a delicate phase. So gone, they attack you if you show them the way. But hey, I just let the facts fall where they may. Hopefully around the summertime we call it a day. Burn the building with the house niggas stuck in their place. Not skin color but politically it's about that race. Now listen, mama told me, boy, don't be nobody's fool. Be no fool.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the DmtsRadio radio show. Today's show is brought to you by Body Rock Fit Lab, located in West Hartford, Connecticut. Today I have a guest with me, Nikiellis. How's it going?
What's going on? Feels good to be here.
Yes. Finally good to get you up here.
Finally.
Yeah, timing is everything, though.
Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to get out here, though.
Yeah. How you been, though? How's everything going? How's life?
I've been good. I mean, everything's been moving real good lately. Just getting over the flu, though, unfortunately. Still got a little bit of cough, yeah. But no, I mean, everything's been good, man. I can't complain. That's what's
up. I definitely want to, the things I want to talk to you today about, you're pursuing your music career, a little bit of family, some of the struggles that you've been through, and just staying focused, on your goals in life. I know some people know who you are, some people may not, but just to get a brief introduction, just let us know a little bit about yourself as far as like a short little bio.
Well, I'm Nikiellis. I'm from New Britain, Connecticut, born and raised. Left for a little while, I was in the military, and then was in Texas for a little while after that. Came back here, and just ever since I came back here, I just hit the ground running and, really been trying to make a name for myself again, because a lot of things changed from before I went to the military, and the rap game in Connecticut definitely changed a whole lot, so it was a big adjustment. Just watching everybody on Facebook, and once Instagram started popping and things like that, I was gone, and then when I came back, I was like, okay, I got what I gotta do, But yeah, I mean, I've been rapping since I was a little kid. I started rapping when I was 8 years old. When I saw the Little Kim Not Tonight remix, the video on BET, I ain't know what was really going on, but I see all these females rapping, and I was like, I want to do that. So, I picked up a pen and a notepad and just started writing and fell in love with music, and
ever since then
it's been a rap.
Before we get into some of the other stuff real quick, I just kind of want to laugh.
Okay.
So I need you to tell me the story about the Twix. I just need to hear that story.
Yo, it's so funny because everybody asks about that. It's funny because I threw that in the songs because I was like, that's I wanted to throw something in there that nobody really knows about me, and so I have my photographer. She's my photographer now, but we actually grew up together, Rena Star. Yep. So we've been friends since the 3rd grade, and went to elementary together, middle school, high school, all of that. So back in middle school, we were in 7th grade, and I was rapping, I was doing my thing, and I don't really remember how we was let's, be a rap group together or whatever, but we decided to be a rap group. So at that time, that's when Eminem had started popping off. So when Eminem started popping off, I was like, yo, there's 2 of us. I was like, we should make our name Twix. So, and back then I used to be nice with the bubble letters and the drawing. I used to draw really good when I was a kid. Kind of lost that throughout the years because I started rapping more and I wasn't practicing drawing no more. But I remember I drew up this whole logo for us, Twix and everything, and used to tag it on everything. It was on, remember your book covers? It was all over my book covers, my folders, all of that.
You were serious.
Yeah, but I mean, that lasted that was very short-lived. And then, Rena started writing her little raps too. And everything like that. But,
Yeah. I had to go through there. I was like, Twix. And it's crazy because I remember when Eminem was out, everybody wanted to do something with candy, either Skittles or... When I heard that, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yo. I was like, we gotta go with the candy bar.
Yeah. And there was two of y'all, so Twix.
Yep.
Why not?
It just went. No, if it would have been four of us, we would have been Kit Kat. I mean,
one thing that I really admire about you is that, number one, you're a female artist, right? In this area of Connecticut, right? Which is great. You don't got a lot of female artists, and not only that, you're a female artist that delivers a different type of hip hop message. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not a female artist that talk about, I ain't really got to say the words, but you're real respectful, self-respect, and you send off a great positive message. As talking about that, where does that pursue from? As far as your message that you want to give to people, do it come from growing up and going through certain things, the pain and the love that you experience in your life, and now that you have children? Tell us about that. Express on that a little bit.
Well, growing up when I was rapping, I mean, like I said, I started rapping when I was young, when I was a little kid, so I didn't have much to talk about back then. You know what I mean? And a lot of stuff I was talking about was just kind of like made up, you know what I mean? I was a kid talking about, just anything, you know what I'm saying? And so as I got older and, I was developing more and more, I was writing about what I knew, basically. So then, like, just as I kept getting older and stuff like that, it's just, I just have gone through so many different life experiences, and it's like, that's just what I was writing about, because it's like, I'm going to write what I know. I'm not going to write about some fake life that I don't live or whatever the case is. So I write what I know, I write through my emotions, and that's how I dealt with a lot of situations in my life, was just putting it all on the paper, you know what I mean? And finding that right beat to go with my feelings and zoning out and, just writing it. And, my big thing now is I am a female, I am a mother, I am a wife, and I want people to know, my biggest thing is like just trying to get people to really pursue their dreams and follow their passions. I heard a radio interview a couple years ago, and it was talking about how only 30% of the population actually does their dream job.
Wow.
So, and the other 70% of the population is clocking in and clocking out just to, do what they got to do to provide or whatever the case is. So, that kind of really sat with me, and it sunk in with me, and I was just kind of like, I want people to realize, like, you hear so many times, especially with females, they be like, oh, well, I wanted to be a dancer, but then I got pregnant. Or, I wanted to be a singer, but then I got pregnant, or whatever the case is. So my big thing is just trying to show, like, you can have kids or be married or whatever the case is, and you can still follow your dreams. You can still pursue your passion, and you can still make it happen, and you can find a way to make everything work. I've had plenty of situations where I didn't have a sitter, and I'm ready to cancel a show or whatever the case is, but I hustled and bustled, and I found somebody that I trusted. Obviously, I'm not going to leave my kids with anybody, but, somebody I trusted who was willing to step up and be like, you know what, I don't want you to miss your show. Go ahead and go do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so another thing, like what you were saying with the whole thing of what females talk about now, and I really want to show that you don't have to be naked to get attention. You don't have to show off damn near everything to get love. Absolutely. You know what I mean? When we was growing up, looking at music videos when we was kids, these girls was clothed. I mean, TLC had clothes on. They might have showed their stomach a little bit, but they wasn't going crazy with being naked in their videos. You know what I mean? Aaliyah, look at Aaliyah. You know what I mean? Just all these people, and these were strong role models for us growing up. So it's like, that's what I want to be, is that strong role model, not just for girls, but anybody. You know what I mean? Just, I want people to know, like, somebody else has been through what you're going through. You're not alone, you know what I mean? And that's where all the real life stuff comes in, because we've all experienced loss at some point. We've all experienced money troubles. Not everybody may have a kid and be able to relate, but you know what I mean? At the same time, we've all gone through stuff. You know what I mean? We all have something that we're fighting for at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So with my music, I just really want to show that. And don't get it twisted. I got my records where I'm coming hard and I'm bringing punchlines and everything like that. But my main goal is to just show people like you're not alone. Like somebody can relate to you.
Somebody can relate to you. No, that's deep, and that's exactly what I get from your music. Even going back to 2015, 2016, I get that from your music, and you give it a balance. You know, there's times where, like you said, you know, you going off on a track, but there's times where you reflect and you're really giving off that message. One thing that's really, really important to me, and I want everybody to listen to, is that you have 3 boys, right? And you're a wife, you're female, you're a mother, you're a friend. Now, to a male artist, I understand some of them don't hustle as hard, and there's always, you know, well, I have to do this and I have to juggle this. There's nothing harder than a mother with 3 boys balancing life, love, and music. That has to be the hardest thing ever. And then do it well. Because you're not just out there just putting words together and throwing it out there. Your craft is good, your video quality, you invest in yourself. How hard is it to balance it, but at the same time, keep that core together?
I mean, I definitely have to say I have a great support system in my husband. You know, he helps me out so much with everything, you know what I mean? And, you know, he'll even, you know, when I'm writing a record and I'm stuck, or if I'm like, I got this new beat and I just like can't come up with that concept or whatever, sometimes I just send it to him. He drives a lot for his job, so I send it to him. I'll be like, yo, listen to this in the car, blast it, tell me, you know, the vibe you get. Sometimes he'll give me that vibe that I be like, you know what, that's what I need to talk about, you know, that's what I need to go with or whatever. But my husband definitely is a huge reason why I'm able to do the things that I do. And I mean, it's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of, you know, 4 a.m. wake ups just to be able to get a workout in before the kids wake up. You know what I mean? It's a lot of going to sleep after midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., you know what I mean? While everybody's sleeping, that's when I'm working on my music. And I also go to school now, too. So I'm a full-time student, and my school is in New York. So I commute to New York 3 days a week to go to school. So the days are tough. Like, you know, I get up early. I go to school for audio engineering because...
Oh, see? You know what you're doing.
And that's another part of the whole investing in myself thing, because I can't expect anybody else to take me serious if I don't take myself serious.
Absolutely.
So, you know, obviously there's certain decisions that, you know, we have to make, you know, where you're like, you know what, it's not worth me doing this. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, as an artist, you have to know, like, you know, there's a lot of people who sitting there, like, jumping in, like, paying for every slot to open up for every artist. Bro, that's not getting you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You just spent $500 on a 10-minute set, and that set ain't gonna get you nowhere, truthfully. You know what I mean? You gotta know what your worth is. You gotta know what your talent is, and you gotta invest in the right things. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna invest in a director who shoots in red in 4K as opposed to 1080p, because I'm trying to get my video to Revolt. I'm trying to get my video to BET. They want 4K. You're going to go over there with a 1080p video and they're going to make you reshoot it if they do like it enough. You know what I mean? Now you just spent all that extra money. So do it right the first time. You know what I mean? We all going to go through the bumps and the bruises or whatever, but you got to learn from it. And, you know, I've made plenty of mistakes. You know what I mean? But, and it's hard. It's not easy balancing everything. It's really not. You know, especially when we going to school in New York, it's like those days that I go to school, I'm up even earlier. You know, I do my workout. If the baby wakes up or whatever, and I got him, he's in the walker, I'm cooking dinner for everybody at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., cooking breakfast for my husband, making sure the kids are good before school. And then once I get the kids to school, I got the baby until it's time to take him to the sitter. And then, you know, and then I got the 2-hour drive to New York. Then I'm in class for 4 hours, and then I got a 2.5-hour drive back home. If the kids are up, then I help my husband get them back to sleep, because when I get home, my husband goes to the gym. So, you know, I'm getting the kids to sleep if they're not already asleep, and then I'm up doing my homework or working on a record or whatever the case is. So, you know, usually by the time Fridays roll around, I'm kind of done with life, and that's kind of like my day to just kind of chill with the kids and stuff and kind of have for me. But I mean, you know, even before I came in here, I'm working on a record and everything like that. I'm writing, and some days it's me with the baby on my lap with the headphones on, and you know what I mean, and I'm just going away at it or whatever. But
listen, I just need people to take notes.
when you want it, you're gonna make it work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what people don't understand. And I do a lot of reading as well. I don't have a manager or nothing, so I do a lot of reading books on the music industry to help educate myself, so that I know when certain things come up, what's gonna be worth it, what's not gonna be worth it. I've read multiple books on the music industry, about music marketing, things like that. Just trying to help myself go further. And then I read a lot of self-help books as well. And those type of things help keep me motivated and just keep me on that daily grind. You know what I mean? Whereas days where I might be too tired, but I'm just like, nah, remember this chapter in this book? You know what I'm saying? And I'm reading another book right now, actually. So, you know, sometimes I order them and I read them while I'm working out, you know, doing cardio, or I just get them on my Kindle app and read like that. Sometimes I'll be at work, nothing going on, I pull my phone out and, you know what I mean?
Hungry.
That's what you gotta do, man.
That's powerful right there. I like that. I'm smiling because I just when I hear people or artists or anybody just be like, you know, like, it's too hard, or I'm trying to do that, or I couldn't do that because of this, and like, I was, before you even came, I said, I already know when she comes, she's about to drop some jewels on her, because I already know how much you hustle. I always see content, I always see your videos, I see your grind, I know you got kids, and it's like you're a woman, you're a mother. You know, there's nothing harder than balancing that and doing it well. You feel me? So I definitely applaud you for that. Like a lot.
Appreciate it.
No, definitely, that's great. One of the videos that I like that you posted up, is it Walk With Me?
Yeah.
That's the name of it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that video a lot, because when you was walking in the street, I seen how you were basically letting people know, no matter what you're going through, walk with me, because I can show you the light. You know, I can show you the light. People that was, you know, going through something, they heard your voice and they just started getting up from different areas and they started following you. Yeah. Where does that empowerment piece come from? Where you're saying, I want to empower everyone. You feel me? Where does that whole piece come from?
Well, I said I was prior military. When I heard the beat, fell in love with it right away, but it gave me that militant vibe. When you're in the military, they teach you about togetherness, you know what I mean? And one thing that I learned from the military, it really opened up my mind, because I made friends with so many people that had I not joined the military, I probably never would have gave them the time of day if I was just still walking around in the Britain, you know what I mean? Never gave them the time of day if they crossed my path. And I made some amazing friends who, to this day, we still FaceTime, you know, still shouting out each other's kids on happy birthdays and all that, you know what I mean? And most of them are the ones who are buying my stuff on iTunes, and, you know, they're huge supporters of my music, you know what I mean? Like, one thing with that, like I said, it really showed me how I met so many people from different walks of life. And it just showed me how to accept people and, like, really learn their stories and learn who they really are, and just go deeper than what's on the outside. You know what I mean? And so when I heard the record, when I heard the beat, like I said, it gave me that militant vibe. So it was just like, I felt like, what do you do in the military? You march. You know what I'm saying? We have drill, we march, and we march together, and that's a big thing. Like when you're in boot camp, is that whole oneness, that whole togetherness, everybody moving as a unit, everybody moving as one. So that's where, like, I was just like, this walk with me, you know what I mean? Like, it just started coming, and then next thing you know, the verses just start flowing, you know what I mean? And when I was writing it, I was just like, I really, really wanted to make a record where it was like, yo, no matter what walk of life you come from, somebody can relate to you. Somebody has been there, and you're not alone, because there's so many people who, you know, get down in these depressions and stuff like that, and they feel like they have nobody on their side. And it's just like, you do have somebody. You probably have more people than you actually know or realize. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be afraid to reach out or whatever. And that was just like where everything was coming from. And that's why I was just throwing like real life stuff, like the part with the two girls and the bullying situation. You know, I was like,
them shake hands.
and I was like, you know, I remember days at the bus stop, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, I ain't even want to get out my mom's car when she dropping me off at the bus stop, because there was girls on my bus who used to mess with me, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm cool with every single one of them now, because that was middle school, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold no crazy grudge like that, but, you know, there was a tough time. There was a real tough time in my life, you know what I mean, in middle school. And I remember you know, none of the boys like me, and you know, I had crushes on these dudes and whatever, and you know, that was stupid. I'm like, I look at some of them on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm really glad that thing, you know that middle school crush never worked out or whatever. But you know, I just want people to know, like, you know, you know, and a big thing with Walk With Me was just kind of like people not letting what other people think of them affect them. Yeah. So like the part where you see the man in the jumpsuit, you know what I mean, and he breaks out of
the shackles,
and he breaks out of the handcuffs. That whole part right there was just kind of showing, like, just because you maybe got locked up once or whatever, that's not what defines you. You know what I mean? The person dropping the alcohol. Maybe people think you drink too much, but that's not what defines you. You are something else. You are something deeper. So it's like, come on, let's walk together and let's get out of these crazy situations and let's be better together.
Young girl, preach. Pull up on that word, make it drop to your knees. Feel it in your chest, feel it when you breathe. You ain't gotta be alone, cause you always got me. So walk with me now. 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 Get, come walk with me now. Walk with me now. Come through for the journey. Let the haters hate, we gon' leave them on the gurney. Flatline, I can't rewind. Tryna drag me back, you get left behind. I've had a whole lifetime of blurred lines. Little white lies, rainy days, no shine. My son wanna know, is mommy okay? He got no idea, everything on my plate, but it's not his burden. Son, be certain, every day I'm working, so you don't gotta hurt shit. I'm doing everything I can, and I'm right by your side, so come grab my hand. Hold on tight, never lose sight. Even when you see me cry, know that mommy's just fine. Hitting overtime, every day is game time. Every second's war time, and I'm still in my prime. Still on my grind with this master design. While these masses divide, and I realize that it's all on me. It's all on me, but trust and believe you get my everything. My soul, my bones, my smell, my heart, my blood, sweat, tears. Here, you can have it all. You can take it all. I don't need a thing. I work like a slave, so we eat like kings, and we live our dreams while we build our team.
And let's build each other up. And that's what it was all about, because there's too many people who are in competition or who just want to talk about the other person, and you're not helping nobody at the end of the day. If you really think something on somebody, try to help them. You know what I mean? And it was just a lot that went into that record.
It was a lot, because I kept replaying it, because I was looking at all your other stuff, but I just kept replaying it because I said, she didn't just put this together because, you know, she just wanted to make a record. Inside the music, you know, the lady getting evicted and saying, like, you know what, I'm gonna follow her. You know, the kids in the street, you know, everybody, you gave it that feel good, you know, that hip hop. You know, that was a great track. I wanted to also talk a little bit about your dad. You know, I know your dad was into music growing up, right?
Yeah. Dad was a DJ.
Dad was a DJ, right?
The EC Express.
You, right?
Yeah, he did. He actually, and it's funny too, because he was a DJ. His thing was the EC Express, and he had like a banner and all that. The DJ equipment is still at home. All the records and everything like that are still in the closets and everything. And actually, his DJ equipment was what I started using when I was a kid. And it just had the tapes on it though, so it was old. So I used to, you know, put beats on the tape and I'd play it in there, and he had the microphone there, and it was funny because he even used to take records, like the old records, because he used to spend like the freestyle and the house music and, you know, Sugar Hill Gang and, you know, all that Curtis Blow, all that stuff. So he used to take, when I first started rapping as a kid, he would actually go to the basement with me and he would take the records and he would flip them over to the instrumental side, and he would be like, "Okay, rap." And then
so you've been doing it for a little while when you was little.
Yeah. I was doing it back then, but I mean, my dad was a DJ. He stopped when I was a kid. When my brother's 9 years older than me, so my brother saw more of that because my dad was younger. You know, when he had him, my dad was only 19 when he had my brother, so. My brother saw a lot of that with my dad renting out the clubs and, you know, all that. I kind of saw more of the basement parties. You know what I mean? And I mean, I remember, you know, him having his stuff set up and he would be upstairs like scratching or whatever and working on a mix or something like that. But, you know, when I was a kid, I was real young when he stopped.
And also, I want to talk about some of your recent projects. You know, because I know you got, you dropped a few projects, right?
Well, I have, when I first got back and I was like first meeting everybody and stuff, I dropped the EP and I Live in the Sky is on there. All Night Long is on there, and My Whole Life is on there.
Okay.
And Carry On is on there. Those 4.
Is that Beautiful?
That's Beautiful Struggle.
Okay.
Yep. That EP is up on like that Piff.
Okay.
And then a year later, I dropped Unexpected, and that was on. It's still on iTunes and all that right now. So that was like a year later, and then it was funny even because that project wasn't even supposed to ever be that project. I was actually working on Faith Over Fear. I had Walk With Me already recorded and everything like that. I was working on Faith Over Fear, and I had a listening session with just the whole catalog, and everybody that was there was like, yo, you need to add more for Faith Over Fear, but you got these records right here that like, this would make a dope project on itself. And
so Faith Over Fear, I didn't see that one. That one was
Faith Over Fear is actually what Walk With Me is supposed to be. Walk With Me was supposed to be the first single for it, but it's like every time I keep Faith Over Fear is such a big project because of just all the meaning that's behind it. So this project is over 2 years in the making right now, and I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? So I dropped Walk With Me because I thought that was gonna be the next thing I did was drop Faith Over Fear, and then just different stuff started coming out of me again, you know what I mean? And I just kind of had to go that route. So I have an EP that's going to be coming out soon. And then Faith Over Fear is supposed to be the next thing after that. You know what I mean?
Got you.
But yeah, those are the 2 that are out right now. And then I have, Walk With Me is kind of like a loose one, even though it's supposed to be on Faith Over Fear. But it's kind of like a loose single that's out right now. And then The Way of Life will be on the EP.
So, I noticed just through your demeanor and your videos, and just sitting with you now, you like I see your confidence, and like and I want to know, where did that spring from when being in the military? Is it something that you always had, or is it something that you grew with? Because a lot of people they talk about that, and a lot of people lack self-confidence. In order to have that, you have to have some sort of not really like I don't care, but more like, I don't care what people think, because self-confidence builds a person up.
It sure does. It does. As an artist, you have to be confident in yourself. If you're not going to be confident in yourself, you need to go do something else. Because as an artist, you're going to hear no so many times. You're going to get kicked so many times. Even if you are great, people are always going to have a comment. People are always going to say something. You know what I mean? J. Cole is a monster. Kendrick Lamar is a monster. Jay-Z is a monster. But people will pick and chew these people apart and talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, so you gotta have that thick skin. You gotta come in here and you gotta walk with that swag, and you gotta stand with that confidence, and you gotta stand strong and stand tall, because people will eat you alive in this industry. They will tear you apart in this game. And you have to know the difference between hate and constructive criticism, you know what I mean? Or, you gotta know, you gotta be able to decipher between those things. You know what I mean? And my confidence isn't something that, I've always really had. I've had plenty of times in my life where I had my self-doubts and things like that, but I got to a point where I was like, yo, you gotta just walk in there like you are the boss and know you're the boss, and just be that, you know what I mean? And be that woman that you stand out, and you just gotta be that, and you gotta fully embrace that. But don't get it twisted, keeping it all the way 100, I hate taking photos. Photo shoots, I suck at. Because I really be like, I'm not a picture person. My husband's the most photogenic person I ever met in my life. He could be on his work. He could just wake up and take the best picture I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, yo, you need to coach me or something, because, when it comes to the videos though, that's like the easy part for me, because I love performing. So when I'm in the videos, I'm just performing, and I'm doing what is my favorite part about being an artist, which is performing. So the videos, it comes easy.
Even when I seen you at the BAM event, you went live, like you just out there like this is what you do, It was just real comfortable for you.
And that came with time too, because I remember I did a show one time in Bridgeport, and I remember I was tight because it was like inconvenienced to him to put me in the show, because it was like somebody was putting me on, to him, and he tried to make it seem like it was like this inconvenience to put me in the show or whatever, but he was still gonna, let me perform. And the dude who put me on made me think that this was gonna be like a big show or whatever. Man, I got there and it was The only people that was there was one other act that was performing. The acts didn't even show up. I think they probably walked in, saw it was dead, and dipped. But it was one other act that was performing, and like his kids and his wife and the staff.
That was it.
That was it. So I remember I went up there and I'm not feeling it at all. I'm like, yo, I'm literally performing for nobody. So
But you did.
I remember standing up there, not like I was like, yo, I'm doing like one song and we out.
Yeah.
So I remember standing up there and I was so out of it, I didn't even like finish the whole song. I was like, yo, I don't even want to do this. I just cut it off like partway through the song and I was like, all right, y'all, you know, thanks for your time and whatever, right? And then I remember when I was done, my husband looked at me and was like, don't ever do that again. And I was like, what? He was like, I don't care how many people are in this crowd.
Right.
Yeah, better get up there and perform. And I was just like, he was chewing me out. And I was just like, yo, there wasn't nobody there. He's like, it doesn't matter. You always got to show out. And I remember, you know, before, like around that time too, I used to be just like so concerned with like making sure I didn't mess up. You know what I mean? And that was part of the whole having to build up my confidence. And then after a while, I was like, yo, I put on good shows and I need to just wild out when I'm up there and just really feel it like I want to and not be so concerned about, you know, because then when your mind start messing with you, that's when you start messing up. So, and you know what, honestly, one thing that also kind of helped me too was watching Annoyed. I'm not even gonna lie. I pay attention to Annoyed a lot. I'm a real big fan of his, and he's a dope person. He actually helped me with the Way of Life record. He just so happened to be at Nitty's studio when I was working on it, and he actually helped me out. And he was like, "Yo, you need to get a singer on the hook to do some ad libs." And then when I brought the singer, he happened to be there that day too, and he actually helped her. He even went in the booth and everything, like harmonized the stuff for her and was like, you need to do it like this. Like, he helped out so much. He's such a cool person.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Annoyed.
Shout out to Annoyed.
Good things.
And so I remember watching his story on Instagram one day, and he was at a show. I think it was like at UConn. This was probably like last year or something, and he was performing his song "Want Want," and this was before A Time and Place came out. So he was performing "Want Want," and I don't know if you've seen him perform that, but he gets hyped, jumping everywhere, like he's all over.
I got a clip of that on my Instagram because I went to his listening party when he.
I was at his listening party. So that show at UConn, he is going nuts. And nobody in that crowd is standing up. Nobody in that crowd is cheering for him. Nobody, not one person in that crowd was clapping, nothing. And that boy still
was going off.
Just completely went in. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I was like, I know, before with me, I would like play off the vibe of the crowd. And I would be like, you know what, it's dead. I don't even care. But then, you know, after seeing him and like the talk with my husband and stuff like that, I was like, when I go up there, it doesn't matter who's vibing or not. And you saw at the BAM, I was going up to people in the crowd. Like, I don't be like stepping stone. Watch this, that Tiffany toe around my neck like snake coats. Coming up with me, look, they couldn't keep me down long. Tried to rip on the moment, my foot was too strong. Not enough, it looked like a fofo. Too long, stressing on the day, but I know this like fofo. I keep it moving, mind spinning like a brand new song. I did not care if you was not vibing or not. I was gonna make you vibe. I was in your face. I did not care.
And you started getting them rock too. Cause first you was like, "What's wrong with y'all? Like y'all ain't woke? Like wake up!" And you just started going off, like walking through the aisles and everything.
But it takes, that took years of practice. You know what I mean? And just seeing like, things that I could do to improve my stage performance. Cause when people see you live, a lot of times nobody's ever seen you before. You know what I mean? Or ever heard of you. So especially with those showcases and stuff like that. So, a lot of those times that you go to these things, people never heard of you. You have to make sure that you're gonna stick in their brain. You know what I mean? And they're gonna want to go follow you so that they can see what your next move is.
Absolutely.
And then they're gonna want to get your next record and everything like that. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yep. And I know that, and that's good though. That shout out to your husband. That's good that he let you know, because not only that, I think I heard it in one of your recent tracks. Now you actually put something in there like that, like no matter what the crowd or whatever you perform.
I said no matter who is in the crowd, the show still goes on.
The show still goes on, so that's good.
And I was using that in like that situation, and I was kind of using it as a metaphor too, because no matter who, the whole point of that record, The Way of Life, is like no matter who is in your life, you still have to carry on.
Absolutely.
And I've actually lost a few friends to like suicide and stuff like that. So, you know, things like that always kind of stick with me too when I'm doing these records, because it's like, that's why I want people to know somebody can relate to you. You're not alone. There's always somebody there. You know, you just got to be able to reach out sometimes or whatever, because not everybody will know something's going on with you or whatever the case is. And, you know, that was just that thing. Like, no matter who's in the crowd, the show still goes on. Like, life still goes on no matter who's around or who's not around, or things happen, and you still got to keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Is that did you lose someone recently when you mentioned in that song about, you know, just a year ago?
Yeah,
you know,
my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She passed from cancer. So actually, it wasn't even the cancer that killed her. It was the chemo. Her body couldn't take it, and you know the chemo kills like everything off in you, and you know, because of her age and everything. So that's something that affects me daily. Yeah. She had a big hand in raising me. So
yeah. I see you push through it though with your music and, you know, your faith and
yeah, definitely. And you know, that's like Walk With Me was dedicated to her. You guys can't see the shirt I'm wearing, but the shirt that I'm wearing, I got a picture put on it, and it's a picture of me, her, and my dad, because it was my dad's mom when I was a kid. It's one of my favorite pictures of us. But yeah, like that video was dedicated to her. My Faith Over Fear project is going to be dedicated to her as well, the whole project. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. Still dealing with it, you know what I mean? It's not easy.
Yeah. You staying strong, man. That's great.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
And you doing your thing. Like I'm gonna tell you, in Connecticut right now, you doing your thing. Like and you're consistent with it. You know, every time I turn around, you're somewhere, and that's consistent, persistent, and you chopping away. You know,
consistency is definitely key. It really is, and people just don't realize, like, you know, when you really want to be out there. And I mean, even me as an artist, there's still certain things that I'm not doing enough of. And I know I'm not doing enough of, you know. And sometimes it just is what it is. Like, I try my hardest, but like you said, it's a balance between being a mother. It's a balance between, you know, if I was single and I didn't have no kids or nothing like that, I'd be able to be out in the city or whatever every night at all these different events. You know what I mean? But I got to pick and choose where I'm going to be at, because I have to respect my marriage, and I have to respect me as a mother, and I have to show respect to my kids, you know what I mean? So it definitely is a tough balance.
No, definitely. And you know, going into this Connecticut hip hop scene, you know, lately there's been a lot of great things going on in our area. You know, a lot of different platforms, you know, popping up, opportunities. I feel like we're on the rise to something better. Like, what do you think about the entertainment hip hop scene in Connecticut itself?
I think there's so much talent in Connecticut. There's so much talent in Connecticut, but I fear that a lot of artists won't rise to their full potential or get the chance that they want to get, because there's not enough support in Connecticut for each other. And that's such a huge problem. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists who it's like they just want to be the first ones to make it from CT. Really, like, yeah, there's Chris Webby and Lloyd is doing his thing. Mike Flows is even doing his thing. You know what I mean? But it's so many artists who is like they just want to be that artist to come out of CT and really make CT like blow up. You know what I mean? And it's like, if y'all would just come together and help each other out more, that could be a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Where multiple people could be on the rise, because Connecticut has so much talent. But I don't feel like it's gonna go where it should go, because there's not enough local support. Like, it's crazy, because I could go do a show in New York and I'll get more love at a show in New York than I get in Connecticut. And I'm from here. You know what I'm saying? But I go out to the city and do a show on a Tuesday night or a Monday night. I got people buying my clothes, they buying my hats, they're buying my CDs. Like, I get mad love out there. Over here, I'm lucky if I sell one t-shirt. Like, at a show, you know what I'm saying? Or something, or, you know what I mean? And I'll get love, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's just everybody's in competition instead of trying to help each other.
I feel that they're in the wrong mindset. You know, I feel like I talk about the entertainment scene with us as artists, and not only artists, just videographers, photographers, entertainers, everything. Like, it's our job to entertain the world, the consumer, especially in this area, Connecticut. So by us coming together, like you're saying, and we're in charge of putting on these beautiful, high quality shows, where do you think people's going to want to go? They're going to want to go to the buildings and the places that we're at. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's us trying to educate people, because they're used to that, that gimme, I'm first. They never really we never really had a real breakthrough out of Connecticut. And that goes to sports, that goes to entertainment, that goes to everything.
Well, so, now with George Springer.
Well, now with George Springer,
you know what I mean?
Him, winning the World Series, that's good.
And again, MVP, that's
he
huge.
even talked about, coming back to the community. But a real breakthrough where people can say, well, there's no reason to step on his toes, because we're all going to get there at the same time. Right. And I think, like you said in the beginning, it's the me first, not knowing who's going to go first. And at the end of the day, everybody trembles over everybody. Nobody goes first,
Right,
so I think it's the mindset. But I think little by little, people like yourself, myself, and other people out there, I do see a lot of people continuing to say, let's come together. We got to do this. We got to do it like this. And I think you might not get the whole bunch, but you'll get just enough to lead the pack, Yeah. So all I say is there is a lot of good platforms rising from Connecticut, a lot of talent in Connecticut, people doing their thing, and people continue to do what they got to do. It is definitely our turn.
Yeah. I mean, the time is gonna come. It just, that support has to be there. You know what I mean? Yes. And it's like, look at how many people we have in the state, or just how many people are in New Britain alone.
Yeah.
If everybody would spend $5 on the EP and help that chart, help it go up on the charts, but people don't want to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's crazy how little the support is really there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's there to a certain extent. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, I read a lot of self-help books, and one of the books that I read, there was a chapter and it like really stuck to me, and it talked about how there is no competition.
Yes.
There is no competition
at all.
And as soon as people start realizing that you're not in competition with him, you're not in competition with her, you're not in competition with them, and you just realize that there is so much in the universe, there is enough for everybody to eat. There is enough for every single person to sit at the table and eat together.
Yes.
But so many people feel like it's a competition. If you get that out of your head and stop feeling like everything is a competition and everybody is your competitor, and just realize like everybody can eat.
Yes.
Everybody can come up and everybody can eat.
Enough. There's enough for everybody.
There is truly enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And I remember after reading that, I sat back and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because especially when you're in the rap game, everybody looks at everything as competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Everybody looks at everything like competition in this music business. Yeah. So it's like, when I read that, I was like, man, that's powerful. Like,
it's powerful.
We not in competition with nobody.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you need to just do your thing. Don't worry about nobody else, and you're going to be good. And everything is going to fall into place the way it needs to.
Yeah.
And people need to get that mindset, and they need to understand that.
Yeah. And it's educating. It's educating the person next to you. You probably can't educate the whole population, but if you educate a few people next to you and they educate a few people next to you on what you just said, that's powerful, because that goes along with the whole concept about energy. When it talks about energy, it never dies or is never created, it just transforms. So like you're saying, basically, there's no competition, for the simple fact is you're going to get whatever you got coming to you, he's going to get whatever he got coming to you, and he's going to get whatever he got. Everybody's going to get exactly what they got coming to you, not taken from nobody, not taken from anything.
Right.
And when they realize that, that's when that last ingredient comes together, and that's unity that every business, every company, every state, every country has. They have that unity that fixes everything, and then from there it's sky's the limit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the mindset.
And people need to understand that. It's like, if you got your own clothing line, like, you can't be hating on the other person's clothing line. Like, cool, they doing their thing, cool. maybe watch what they're doing. If you're not as successful, then maybe watch what they're doing and see if you could take a few tips. Maybe their marketing is better. You know what I mean? Maybe their quality is better, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? If you're an artist and you're not where you need to be, then you need to sit back, evaluate what you're doing, evaluate where you're at, and look at what you could be doing better. You know what I mean? I saw this video and I post it every now and then on my Facebook. I'll repost it. It's a football player, Inky Johnson. You ever heard of him? No. Well, he got paralyzed in his right arm right before he was going to the pros. In a game, he got hit the wrong way and got paralyzed. I seen a video that popped up on my timeline one day, and that stuck with me. And he was saying how growing up, mom was a single mom. When he got into like high school, he asked his mom to introduce him to his dad because he heard his dad was an athlete. And his mom was working at Wendy's, and he was just like, I just remember us struggling. We living in a small house with 8 people and this, that, and the third. So he was like, he was on that, I want to retire my mom. I want my mom to never have to worry again. Gotcha. So he met his dad, told his dad, like, all I want you to do is train me. That's it. Help me get to the pros so mom don't got to work no more. So his dad said, okay. Dad takes him out 4 o'clock in the morning and tells him, go run to this fire station or whatever. And it was however many miles. And he was like, okay. And then his dad like was going back in the house or something. And his dad was like telling him like, I need you to bring the other person out. He was like, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody here, just me. And he was like, no. As much as you want something, there's a person living inside of you who wants it that much more. As much as you feel like you need something, that person inside you needs it that much more. As much as you want this success and you want this and that, the person inside you wants it that much more. As hard as you think you're working, there's a person inside you who's working even harder, and you got to bring that person out. So when you don't feel like being up at 4 a.m., that person going to make you get up at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So that stuck with me too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, I think about how many times my alarm goes off in the morning, and sometimes I'm like, I've only been asleep for like 2 hours, and I'll be like, I'm not gonna get this workout in. But in my head, I'm like, get your butt up and go get on that elliptical and do this cardio. You know what I mean? And you gonna wake up while you doing your cardio. You know what I mean? So more people need to have that. You know what I mean? Like, you need to sit back, look at where you're at, and realize what do you need to do. If unfortunately for females, we have to have a certain body image. You know what I mean? Whether I show it off or not, I gotta have the right body underneath all the clothes. So I get up and I work out. No matter how tired I am, I'm up and I'm working out and I'm doing what I gotta do. I had a baby a year ago, and I'm almost 50 pounds down from less than a year ago when I started working out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, if I could do it, anybody could do it. If I could do all of these things that I do, anybody could do it. You know what I mean? People just have to find that inner person, that inner them, and bring it out. And they got to bring it forward, and they got to put that work in. Because like you said, you're going to get what's coming to you. Definitely. But it doesn't mean you don't work for it. You have to put the work in.
You said it. You said it the best, man. Listen, this was a wonderful interview. I want you to speak to our, before we close this out, speak to our youth out there. You give them, some key points of guidance and just pursuing anything that they would want to do in life.
As far as going towards the youth, I just really want you guys to know that as long as you do right by people, good things are gonna come. Maybe you're gonna have some slips, you're gonna have some falls, we all do, but do not let it discourage you. Do not let it break you. Do not let it bring you down. If you have something that you are truly passionate about, go for it. If you're an artist, like you draw, keep drawing, keep working at it. You could be one of the next bomb tattoo artists. You could be an ill graphic designer. There's just so many different avenues that you could go down. If you want to be a rapper, you work on your craft. And you get that style down, and you just get your brand down, and you do what you gotta do. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. If you gotta work at McDonald's and use your check money to get 1 hour, 2 hours of studio time, you do that. You lay that record down. You go out, you meet those people, you do what you have to do. If you wanna be a singer, get your butt in some voice lessons. Like, take the steps, do what's necessary. If your parents don't believe in you, you need to say whatever, and you just need to believe in yourself. Everybody is gonna sit here and drill it into your head. Your teachers, everybody's gonna drill it into your head. Your parents, all your family members, whatever, they're gonna drill it into your head. You gotta get good grades in school. You gotta go to college, and you gotta get a good job. Guess what? I have 3 degrees, and I don't have a job doing none of those things because it's just the way the world works. I've been on interviews and things like that, but it's not my passion. My passion is music. So I got to the point where I said, cool, I got these degrees. I did what I had to do, what everybody told me to do. Now I'm doing what I want to do. But you know what? As a child, as a youth, just do what you got to do. Just go down the right path. Get your bumps and bruises and your scrapes, but it's all going to make you a stronger and better person, and just do not stop. If you truly, truly want something, work. Get up early, stay up late, do what you have to do. Work crappy jobs if you have to work crappy jobs to pay for whatever. If you need singing lessons, acting lessons, you want to move to LA, work that crappy job for a year. Save your money and go move your butt to LA. Do what you got to do.
I want to thank my supporters out there for watching the DMTS radio show. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on all social media at DmtsRadio. And be sure to download the DMTS Radio music app in the App Store and Google Play. You can find Nikki up there. She got a few singles.
So you guys can find me everywhere. All my social media is Nikiellismusic. Niki, one K, Nikiellis music. I also have my own clothing line called Flawless Affair. This is one of my shirts right here. This is one of the logos. Real quick, Flawless Affair is just all about loving the person that you are and just feeling flawless. Nobody's perfect, but you're just supposed to feel that way. So this
How can they order that?
You guys, I post up on Facebook, Instagram. I have an Instagram page. It's at Flawless Affair Clothing.
Okay.
And you can just DM me, and you know, I deliver or I mail stuff out, whatever.
Definitely.
I got people in Japan. I got people in the UK right now wearing Flawless Affair.
Connections, man.
You know what I mean? That's that military.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hawaii, all of that. I mail everywhere.
Dope.
Clothing line. I want to give a shout out real quick to this new app that's coming out called Merge. Right now, it's in the beta stage, and it's getting ready to launch very, very soon.
Nice.
And it's super dope. It's a really, really dope app. It's a way for people to collab together. So it's called Merge because it's just kind of like bringing people together. So right now, it's all artists and producers that are on it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure, I think in the next month, it's supposed to actually launch.
Yeah.
And it'll be available for everybody.
Everybody,
So,
even if you're not an artist.
even if you're not an artist, it'll be an app on, you know, on your iPhone, Google Play, all that. You'll be able to download it and use it. And you know, we got all kinds of amazing threads up there right now that are going on. Like, I can't wait until everybody's able to experience it.
That's nice.
And it's actually getting a lot of traction. Brian Michael Cox actually jumped on one of the threads that I was a part of. It was dope. Like, the president sent me a text. The president of the company sent me a text. It was like, did you see who was on the thread? I logged in and I looked at it and I'm like, yo, that's Brian Michael Cox. Like, get out of here. But you know what I mean? So
yeah, so you've been working on that?
I'm actually an ambassador for that app. So you'll see the hashtag on my Instagram and things like that. You'll see the hashtag Merge with the World, and that is promoting the app.
Listen, continue your wonderful journey. You know, keep grinding. School, everything you got. Shout out to your family and you. And thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. This was great. I had a really good time.
Show some with the beat.
I just want to take y'all back, cause this that real hip hop right here. This that I got something to say, that I got a message type flow. Cause see, not everybody is gonna like you, and not everybody is gonna be there for you. Cause see, 9 times out of 10, people gonna pretend to be in your corner, but they really gonna be knocking you. And it's crazy, cause it'll be the same people that you show nothing but support to turn around and play you. But you gotta see through it and know what it is. Oh, we show mad love, that's how it's supposed to be. Anybody hating mad, cause I'm where they supposed to be. Supposedly they supposed to be better than me. I let that shit rock while my tape knocking the Jeep, rocking to sleep while I stay woke in the streets. hard to believe. A year ago, you was with me. Now you gone rocking the heavens, it's been fucking with me. I know you at peace, but some days it's still hard to breathe. I'm carrying on as best that I can, according to plan. Keep ahead of the game, maintain, taking care of the fam. Giving everything I got and doing all it takes. I can't give up now, there's way too much at stake. I got 3 little boys now depending on me. They need to see their roses who grew from the concrete. I'm living proof it ain't game if it's the truth. Most love me, some hate me, but show respect for what I do. Only in the darkness can you see the lights. Only through the tough times where you know to fight. You gotta really know what's wrong and know what's really right. They gon' love you, they gon' hate you, it's the way of life.
Pray like I need to, I see through the see-through. Don't let the greed and dishonor mislead you. Better days in my image, I draw it out. You can paint the picture when I'm finished. Just make sure the blood turns green when it's spilling. Who you killing? They try to get a million. Who? Oh, your brother, your sister. We praying so hard, hope the landlord don't evict us. Ignorance, no bliss.